This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we started with object-oriented and we have seen about what is the meaning of class, how to create a class and how to create object of a class and how to access members of class using object. And the very important point is whenever we create a new object for a class, what values are given to the data members? When we create a new object for a class, what values are given to the data members? Very important, remember default values. So first your thinking should go to default values. And we have seen about this reference, this keyword and constructors. So what is a constructor? It's a method whose name is same as class name, mainly used to initialize the object and should not go with any return type. Right? Today let us discuss two topics. One is static keyword and one more packages. So let us initially go with static keyword. Static keyword can be used for data members, methods and inner classes. What is inner classes? A class within a class. A class within a class is inner class. More about inner class we'll discuss later. Static keyword cannot be used for top level class. So the meaning of top level class is outer classes. Up to now, whatever the classes we have created, they are all outer classes. Like if you use static keyword for a class sample, this will go with error. So we cannot use static keyword for classes. For inner classes, we can use static keyword. Static keyword cannot be used for local variables. So what do you mean by local variable? Declared within a method. Declared within a method is local variable. Like example, take a class sample. Inside the class, go with a method xxx. This we call method. Inside the method, if you declare any variable, we call it as local variable. Local variable. And if you try to use static keyword for local variable, this will go with error because local variable cannot be static. So we cannot use static keyword for local variables. So these are the rules here. Then what is the use of static keyword? What is the need of going with static keyword? The use is static members are accessible directly with the class name without creating objects. So we can access static members directly with the class name only without creating objects. When you create a class, if you want to access members of class outside, we have to create object. But if it's static, we need not create object. We can access them directly with the class name also. This point does not mean that objects cannot access static. Even objects can also access static members. One more important rule. A static method can access only other static members directly. A static method can access what? Only other static members directly. I'll discuss more on this point in the program. Then one more last point. This is the major important point. A static variable acts as a global variable within class. A static variable acts like what? A global variable within class. Means all objects of the class can access static variable memory. All objects of the class can access what? Static variable memory. Now, let us understand all these points using the program. More about last point I'll discuss in the program. Eclipse. Create a new class, static demo with main method. Now, in this, let us create a class, my class. Already we are having my class, right? Let me say sample. Let us create a class sample with the two data members int m, int n. Now, if I take int m, since this m is what? I did not use any static keyword. So if I want to access this m outside of class, we have to create what? Object. And what is the definition of object I have given? An instance of a class. An instance of a class is called as object. So we call this type of variable as non-instance or non-static variable. I want to access this variable outside of class, means I have to create object. That's the reason the name is instance or non-static variable. Let me make this n as static. So when we use static keyword, what is the point I said? Static members are accessible directly with the class name also. That's the reason these static variables, even we call them as class or static variables. If there is no static keyword, then we call instance or non-static. If it is static is there, then we call it as class or static variable. So let us take a method xxx. If you are not using static keyword, we call it as instance or non-static method. Now, in this method, we'll say m equal to 10, n equal to 20. When we call xxx method, the value of m and n will become 10, 20. Now, let us take one more method, static void y. This we call it as class or static method. Now, in this, if you say m equal to 30 and n equal to 40, observe here in line number 12. In line number 12, under m variable, we are getting error. We are getting, see, error. Because y is a static method. Inside a static, we can access only static. Since m is non-static, we cannot access it. That's the last but one point. What is that point? A static method can access only static members. So this will go with error. What is the point? Non-static variable m cannot be accessed from static context. Now, let us take a method and display. In display, just to let us print the value of m and n. M equal to the value of m space n equal to the value of n. Coming to main method, create object of class sample s1 equal to new sample. After creating object of sample, we'll call the method s1.xxx. When you call the method s1.xxx, it will go to xxx method. The value of m and n will be 10, 20. Now, if you call s1.display, the output will be m equal to 10, n equal to 20. No issues. Now, let us create one more object. This is important to understand. Let us create one more object. Sample s2 equal to new sample. Now, if you call s2.display, then what do you think the output will be? What is the value of m and n will be? Can anyone answer this?
Default value.
Default values. Okay, good answer. Okay, but let us understand what will be the output. It is not a default values. Okay, so what is the output of this? That's the main thing to understand about static keyword. Now, Let us see what will be the output here. Understand carefully. Whenever we create a new object for a class, whenever we create a new object for a class for the first time, it's going to allocate. What is going to happen is, first it's going to load the class first. It's going to load the class into the memory. And when the class is loaded, then it's going to allocate memory for static variables first. It's going to allocate memory for what? Static variables first. So it's going to allocate memory for static variable. Right? So it's going to allocate memory here. What is that memory? Sample dot n. And the initial value will be 0 here. Initial value will be 0. After that only object will get created. It's going to allocate memory for object. Then it's going to allocate memory for instance variables. And instance variables are referred with object name dot m, and initial value will be 0. I'm repeating once again. Whenever we create a new object for a class, first the class will get loaded into the memory. First it's going to allocate memory for static variables referred with class name. Then after that it's going to create object and allocates memory for instance variables referred with object name. Then, now when you call the method s1.xxx, it will go to xxx method. The value of m and n will become 10, 20. So for s1 object, m will become 10. For s1 object, m will become 10. And for s2, n will become, for that is sample dot n, it will become 20. So m value will be 10, n value will be 20. That's the reason when you call s1 dot display, the output is 10, 20. Now when you create one more new object of sample class, since the class is already loaded, this memory will not get allocated once again. It won't allocate this memory once again. It's going to create only object here. So it's going to allocate memory for only instance variables now. It's going to allocate memory for only instance variables referred with object name s2 dot f, and the value will be 0. Now say the answer when you call s2 dot display. For s2, m is what? 0. M is 0, but what about n? 20. That means this n variable, static variable, this can be used by your s1 object. The same memory can be even used by s2 object. So there will be only one memory. When you make a variable as static, there will be only one memory for static variable for the complete class. And all objects can go to that memory and take that value. So then when you want to make something common to all objects, we use what? Static keyword. That's the last part here. A static variable acts like what? Global variable within class, means all objects of class can access the static variable memory. There will be only one memory for static variable. So what will be the output here? For S2, m will be 0, n will be what here? 20. Common value. So this n value will remain common for all objects. There will be only one memory for static variables. Clear this point, all of you? No. If you call the method s2 dot yyyy, when you call s2 dot yyyy, when you call to this method, the n value will become now say 40. Now if you call the method s1 dot display, for s1 m is what? 10. But what about n? It has now become 40. Even s1 changes n value or s2 changes n value, that will remain common for all objects. If you call s2 dot display, for s2 m is 0, but n has now become 40. This n will remain common for all objects. Now if you write sample dot n equal to 50, since n is static here, we can even access with class name also. Now the value of n has become 50. Now if you call s1 dot display, for s1 m is 10, n has now become 50. Write s2 dot display, for s2 m is 0, but n has become 50. A common value, right? See now when we run, same output what I have given in comments. Clear all of you the need of static keyword? Right? When you want to make something common to all objects of the class, we think of static keyword. And one more important point, what we use more, we can access them directly with the class name. This is one more important point which we use more. Now, let us move to the next concept, packages. Very, very simple topic. The packages are like folders in our operating system. Why we create folders in our operating system? To store related files. So similar way, package is also to store related classes. By seeing the folder name, we can know what type of files the folder contains. Similar way, by seeing package, we can know what type of classes it holds. So you can say, can define a package like a package is a collection of related classes. So generally we store dot class files. We store what? Inside a package, we store dot class files. The package keyword is used to create a package. Which keyword we use to create a package? Package keyword. Like example, we say package and the name of the package. And the standard for package name is smaller case letters. We go with smaller case letters for the package name. The package statement should be the first statement in the source code file. In the source code file, package statement should be first statement. Like example, if you take the source code file like extra.java, the first statement should be package. After that only imports. You can have multiple imports. After that only class definitions. We can have multiple class definitions. This is the order of writing a Java program. First we have to write package, after that we have to go with imports, after that only class definitions. In a source code file, we can have only one package statement. In a source code file, we can have what? Only one package statement. One package statement with multiple import statements and multiple class definitions. We can have only one package with multiple imports, multiple classes. Important point, the classes under the package. In this example, what are the classes under my pack? A and B. The classes under the package are stored in a folder whose name is same as the package name. Once we compile this extract Java, it's going to create a folder my pack. Under that, it's going to store a dot class and b dot class. That's the reason I said package means folder only. Okay. Only public classes are accessible outside the package. Only public classes are accessible outside the package. Means if I want to use a class of one package into another, the class must be public. Okay. To use the classes of one package into another package, we need to import the package. This is the major important. If I want to use a class of one package into another, we need to import like this. Import mypack.a. Then we can use a class. Import mypack.b. Then we can use big class, or you can even say import mypack.star. Star indicates all classes under mypack. So the final conclusion is whenever you want to create a package name. Whenever you want to use the classes of one package into another, import. These are the final conclusion points here. These two things we use more. Now, let us understand all these parts using the example application. Create a package, mypack1 in my project. In the project, create a package, mypack1. Here, open Eclipse. How to create a package is, we have to right click. We have to right click on my project and see new package. You can see in the list package. Go with the package name, mypack1. So the standard for package name is, we go with smaller case letters. Standard means not a syntax rule. Now, say finish. Then see it has created the package, mypack1. It's a package. So to create a package, I click on my project and say new package. We'll ask for the name. We are giving it as mypack1 and click finish. Let us create one more package. Sorry, let us create a class under mypack1. Create a class calculator in mypack1 package. How to create a class under packages? Right click now. Right click on mypack1 and say new class. Go with the class name calculator. See, it is showing the package name as mypack1. So we are creating a class calculator under mypack1. Say finish. Now, so here first statement package mypack1 under that class calculator. Now let us go with the methods. Public int add int in1 comma int in2. So where we written the addition of these two numbers. Let's take one more method. Public int multiply, where we take two numbers in1 in2. Then we return in1 into n2. So just we have created a class calculator under mypack1 with these two methods, some methods inside the class. So how to create a class under package, right click on mypack1 and say new class. It will ask you the name, that's in calculator, and click finish. Now let us create one more package. Create a package mypack2 in my project. So to create a package, right click on my project and say new package. Let us go with the name mypack. Right, we have created a package mypack2. So to create a package, right click on my project and say new package. It will ask you the name. So we are giving it as mypack2 and click finish. Now let us create a class. Create a class calculator test in mypack2 package. Let us create a class calculator test. How to create a class? Right click on mypack2 and say new class. See, under mypack2, we want to create a class calculator test with main method inside. So let me document. Right click on mypack2 and say new class. In the name, see calculator test. Make check mark to main method and click finish. Calculator test. So this we need to run. Now write the code. In this main method of calculator test, let us create object of calculator. Calculator c equal to new calculator. We are creating object of calculator. Observe, we are getting error under calculator class. Then what we need to do to remove this error now? What we should do to remove this error?
Import calculator from my pack1.
Very good. What we have to do, just import. See, just keep mouse pointer on this error and see, you can see the option import calculator from my pack1. If you just click here, the respective import will happen here automatically. So that's it. So whenever you want to create a package name, whenever you want to use a class of one package to another, import. These are the final points. Now as usual code. So once you create object, by using this object, we can call the methods. So you can say sum equal to, by using object, call the method add and pass the values. Product equal to, by using object, call the method multiply and pass the values. That's it. See, when we run, we get sum as 15, product is 10 into 4, 40 here. Right? Clear all of you? Any questions? Now let us see the folder structure. So we are working in C drive 2024, the current year, Java online file. This is our batch number. In that, Java programs. In Java programs, I have created project. Just to go to the folder where you have created project, open this folder. Under this, you can see bin folder. If you open bin folder, you can see our folder C, my pack1, my pack2. That's the reason I said package means folder only. In my pack1, you can see calculator.class. In my pack2, you can see calculator test.class. So bin folder contains .class files. Now if you open src, under src, you can see my pack1 which contains calculator.java file. My pack2 contains calculator test.java file. Right? So package means simple words, folder only. And to use the classes of one package into another, import. Now if you create a package like this, package com dot string dot mvc dot entity. When you create a package like this, com dot spring dot mvc dot entity, then how many folders will it create now? Total how many folders will it create? 4 folders. 4 folders. First it's going to create a folder com, under that subfolder spring, under that subfolder spring, under that subfolder mvc, under that subfolder entity. So dot is a separator for subfolders. See here, let me show this. Right click on project and see new package. So when you are saying com dot spring dot mvc dot entity, I'm separating the subfolders by dot here. That's the syntax we have to follow while creating package. So when you say finish, see the folder structure. Under bin you can see it has created a folder com, under com spring, under spring mvc, under mvc entity. So dot is a separator used for subfolders. So what is going to happen now? Creates a folder com with a subfolder spring under com folder and with a subfolder mvc under spring folder and with a subfolder entity under mvc folder. Like this. First it's going to create a folder com, under that spring, under that mvc, under that entity. Right? Dot is a separate user for subfolders. That is the reason when you are writing this import java.util.scanner. So what is the meaning? Scanner is a dot class file present in which folder? Util folder, and util is a subfolder of Java. So that's the reason whenever you want to use scanner class in our program, we write import java.util.scanner. So we are informing go to util folder and take the class. So what is the point? Scanner is a dot class file present in util folder, which is a subfolder of Java folder, which is a subfolder of which folder? Java folder. Clear? Any having any questions? Any questions up to here? No. So coming to this Java OOP assignment, now we can do question 6. Question 6 is based on static keyword. And question 10, directly question 10 is based on packages. Question 6 is on static, question 10 is on packages. And try to write the object-oriented programs. So once you submit, I can guide you properly whether you are writing correctly or not. Coming to the previous assignments, what I have given. Assignment 1 is very simple. Now let us see assignment 2. In that I have given the question like, write a program to check whether the given age is major or minor. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, then we say major, else minor. And I have given one point. If the given age is less than 18, then display invalid age. Right? Now, let us go with the program. Check age. Open Eclipse. Right click on project ends in new class. Check age. Main method. Then import here java.util.scanner. Create object of scanner class. Here system.in. Now accept the age. Enter your age. We'll say int age equal to s dot next. After accepting age, now check here. If age greater than or equal to 18, we'll say major. Else, if age less than 18, we'll say minor. Else, we'll say invalid age. Invalid age. When you run this program, when we give the age, let me run like this, right click and say run as Java application, it will ask for the age. So it will asking age, I'll say -5. Then what do you think the output will be from the program? From the program, what is the output? See the output what we get? It is going to display minor because it will come and check here. -5 greater than or equal to 18 false. Comes to else part and checks -5 less than 18 yes. Then it is going to display minor, which is not correct program. So what we should display? Invalid age. What we should display here? Invalid age. Right? So this type of errors, what you are expecting if you are not getting, this type of errors, we call them as logical errors, semantic errors. Logical or semantic errors. So what you are expecting if you are not getting, if program is incorrect, we call logical errors. Now, So what is the point? If age is less than 0, we have to say invalid age. So check here. After accepting age, check here. If age less than 0, age is less than 0, then display invalid age. Else we compare here. If age greater than or equal to 18, then we'll say major. Else directly we can say minor. Directly we can say minor. So if age is less than 0, we are saying invalid age directly at the beginning only. We are saying invalid age. Else, if it is greater than 0 only, we are coming and checking the remaining conditions here, whether it is major or minor. So when we run, if I give -5 at the beginning only, it is going to say invalid age. If you run the code again, if you say 20, it is going to say major. If you run the code again, if you say 15, it's going to say minor here. Right? So this is the correct piece of code. Now, let us go with one more solution. Write a program to find biggest of given three numbers using conditional operator. I asked to do using conditional operator, that is question mark. Let us go with the program. Big 3 conditional. Right click on project and say new class big 3 conditional. Import scanner. Create object of scanner. Now go with the message. Enter 3 numbers. We'll say int n1 equal to s dot next int, int int equal to s dot next int, n3 equal to s dot next int. Now we want to find big. Very simple. That just compare if n1 greater than n2 and if n1 greater than n3. If n1 greater than n2 and even n1 greater than n3, if both conditions are true, then we give n1 value to big. We'll store this n1 value into big. Else, how to represent else here? Colon. So if you are coming to else means n1 is not big, then just to compare n2 with n3. If n2 greater than n3, then we question mark. We give n2 value to big. Else we directly give n3 value to big. If this condition is true, n1 value will come and store into big. If this is false, again it compares whether n2 is greater than n3. If it is true, n2 value will come and store into big. Else directly n3 will come and store into big here. Just print the value of big equal to the value of big. When we run, we'll ask for 3 numbers. You can go with any 3 numbers. It's going to pull out the biggest value. Here, this line of code is important here. Got it, everyone? Any questions? Right? So let us stop here today. Tomorrow we'll go with a new topic and very, very important in object oriented, that is inheritance and polymorphism. So both the topics we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Right. Thank you all. Thank you very much.